session and also press some buttons. Thank you for the birthday wishes. It's just been such a great day. All right, I'm gonna click to go live on Facebook. Here we go, 1 sec. Thank you, you all deserve an awesome year. That's why I'm doing this. 1 sec, live on Facebook. So that way, if you guys are also on Facebook or you have some folks that you know that would benefit, this will, if Facebook allows me to go online in Strong Confident Living here, that is the goal. 1 sec. I'm so pumped. My heart is like beating. Usually I just go live stream and I'm just like boom, but you guys have me so excited and so full of so much love today on my birthday. Okay, 1 sec. All right, I think it's gonna work. 2020 manifestation tips. Now. Okay. Go live. Okay, I think we're also live on Facebook. Hey everybody, thank you for being here so much. My name is Laura St.John. I'm here with Strong Confident Living. We're a lifestyle community and it is 2020 and it is time to have you manifest your goals, your dreams, your desires. And I can really attest to so much today. So first of all, I just want to thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of Strong Confident Living. Your time is so appreciated and our time together. We've had Strong Confident Living now for years. As many of you know, today I am celebrating my 44th birthday. And it was a really inspiring moment for me, actually months ago, when I was reflecting upon my journals that I've been creating for years for 2020. And I was thinking, you know, what do I want to do for my birthday? It's the first birthday that I'm spending here in California in Malibu. As many of you know, we were evacuated last year with the fires and all. So I was like, you know, last year's word was epic and we had epic proportions in every kind of way possible. This year's word for myself is precision. Precise ways, not only to help myself create the next chapter in our lives, but for you, precise instructions, precise steps. And I've had a real great opportunity, just over the last weeks and the last months to think, what do I want to do to spend my 44th birthday in Malibu, California? I've had a terrific day. And I said, you know what I want to do? I want to spend it with Strong Confident Living. I want to spend it with my friends and family online that I could connect together all over the world and say, what an impact that we can have right now in the beginning of the year while everyone's creating their visions and what they want next in this next decade, in this next year. So thank you again for spending the time with me. I'm going to get started. So I hope you have a journal, a piece of paper, take out a pen, just something that you can totally write a whole bunch of notes, because we're going to get started and I'm going to give you a lot of juicy tips in this broadcast. So if you are brand new here to Strong Confident Living, welcome. This is actually my first official broadcast of 2020, and I know you're meant to be here in this moment. Okay, so let's get started, because let's face it, sometimes when we're manifesting something that we truly desire, the biggest obstacle can be ourselves, right? That we are actually not going with the flow of ourselves. It's us versus us in sometimes a negative way, even when we don't intend it, where we think we're looking out and we're like, this is not the life that I want. Okay, so I'm going to share with you, because it's not been all smiles and rainbows, and it can't be. That's why we're human. We're here, from our challenges that give us stepping stones to provide us with the clarity towards where we want to be going in our life. So this workshop is to give you my top 10 right now tips of what I am seeing and hearing from people every single day that are actually the manifestation, like no-nos, okay? And with all good intention, people are making a lot of mistakes when it comes to manifesting, which could really slow down the process in where you want to be going. It could slow down or even bring it to a full-on halt. It could be exhausting. It could trigger a lot of negative emotions, and all of those things can really hold you back from your happiness, from your dreams, from your vision that you want to create for yourself. So I'm going to actually run through, and I was really thinking about what could I be, giving you guys, because each tip can be a full-on lesson in and of itself. In this most important time where you are really starting to create what you want next for yourself, I felt like the most value that I could give you right now would be in accessing the top 10 things that I see that people are not doing correctly, and to give you that quick solution, to give you a quick fix on how to, what I call, flip it and change everything. Because if you could change one or two of these things that I'm about to share with you, you may be on a completely different path immediately. You may have a different perception, a different attitude towards your life right now after this broadcast, and you could take immediate shifts and immediate action towards your goals. So that is my juicy sauce of tonight, taking my last 44 years of life here on planet Earth and recognizing my purpose for being here, which is to help you shift and pivot towards the up spiral in your life, not the down spiral, and not allow that to ooze into all the different areas of your life. So let's get started. Take out your pen, and I'm gonna go 1 through 10, and it's not in any particular order. My goal for you is that your takeaway is, oh my goodness, I'm doing that. Oh, thank goodness, I learned this tonight. This is going to change everything. Okay, share this broadcast out. Let people know about Strong Confident Living. We are on a new decade of our own brand and our lifestyle company to go beyond just health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, and to shift you into completely creating the life that you want in all areas of your life, okay? In anything from parenting to relationships to finances to every aspect that oozes into all the different things that make you, you. You can be strong and confident and live a spectacular life. And the tips that I'm about to throw down, what gets me so excited is anyone can do it. And these things that I'm gonna give you tonight, they're not only, free, like this workshop is free right now, but they are free things that you have inside you right now that I'm gonna just help you turn on. So here we go. Number 1, are you guys ready? Let's hit it, okay? The number 1 thing that people do when manifesting incorrectly is that you create a vision board that is literally a virtual representation or a visual representation of everything that is missing in your life. When you stare at your vision board, when you stare at what you want to manifest and it's up on that wall, it triggers everything that's there's all the stuff that's missing. I must be terrible, or I must be doing something wrong, or, I, mustn't be doing enough, or I mustn't be enough because I don't have all of these things. And it really triggers a ton of lack. This is one of the number 1 things that I see people feel when they create their board. Just a total disconnect that can create a down spiral because you're looking at what you want, but you actually feel really far from it. So I'm gonna give you a solution, because the number 1 thing is you'll have that ding, ding, ding aha moment right now if you look at your vision board, or you start to think about what you actually want in this world, what you want for your next chapter in this lifetime of yours. And if it creates that disconnect, if it creates that lacky feeling, if it is literally, like I said, a visual representation of everything that's, missing, you are going to be constantly looking to fill a void. So there's an easy solution to this. The first thing is that you need to know whether that's you. If that's you, it doesn't feel good sometimes to look at your vision board, right? You look at it and you're like, well, I'm never gonna have that house, I'm never gonna fit into that bikini, or oh, I'm so far away from a bank account that says this or this in my business. And if it's not inspiring you and it's actually kind of pulling up the negative, then you need this quick fix. Here's the quick fix solution to that, which is you need to recognize right now the sprinkles of things that were actually originally inspired you to put that up on your board. Okay, so for example, maybe you want to make a certain thing in your business, or have a huge bank account. Well, maybe that, but you're looking at it and you're like, oh, so far from that. I have nothing in my bank account. It doesn't feel good. I feel really disconnected from that. you need to access, in terms of a solution, the sprinkle of it that you've ever felt. Maybe on that payday, you were able to pay all the bills, even if your money disappeared in 2 minutes, like that feeling of relief that you were able to move that money, pay those bills, and get that sense of it may have inspired you to say, you know what, I want a bank account with more commas and more zeros, right? Or maybe like when you went on vacation once as a kid and you recognized that when you were around palm trees and warmth and sand, that your family was in the most relaxed state, and that you wanted to, have more vacation time or live like me now around palm trees and warm sand. So, it's that. Or, maybe there's that little sprinkle of the what you want. It came from somewhere. So you have to go back as a quick solution and think about what gave you that feeling in the first place, so you don't stare at it and only feel the lack. That's a huge, huge one. So write that down, recognize it. That's a quick flip, okay? Number 2, OMG, this is probably what keeps most people away from their success. When you look at that vision board, when you start to think about what you want to manifest in your life, if you are feeling like, don't have that yet, the number 2 thing that people go wrong is the next step, which is they go into more action. I must need to do more. I must need to hustle. Everyone's telling me to wake up at 5 a.m. Everyone's telling me to do this and do that. I must actually need to do more, okay? That to me is a makeup, because you're going into the action from a negative place. So number 1, looking at the vision or thinking about what you want to manifest, feeling so far from it, and then thinking, number 2, I must need to do more because I'm not doing enough, because I am not enough. If I am not enough and that person has it and I don't have it, and gosh, it seems like all these people are like doing all these things, I must need to do more. And therefore you're going into action prompted from the negative place. When that happens, it is exhausting. If you think you need to make a bigger to-do list and you feel exhausted all the time or pulled in a million directions, you are drained all the time, you are likely doing this, okay? And not only that, you're putting yourself further and further and further down the hole of negativity, because you're actually going into action from the undoing feeling, like I need to undo, I must be doing everything wrong, so let me undo, let me do more. Or you're going into that massive action feeling like, gosh, my business isn't taking off, I must need to send 1,000 emails, not 300 emails, not 20, I must need to do more, I mustn't be doing enough. And it's this constant makeup of like lack, more action, more action, more action. And you're like, why is nothing happening? And that is literally because you're constantly trying to make up for like a feeling or doing of not having enough, because I don't see it and I only see lack. So the 1 and 2 pieces here really mesh together. When you can quick flip solution the things that I told you for number 1, like recognize that like it came from an inspired place, well then number 2 will also start to fix itself. Instead of doing more, how awesome would it be to do less better, right? One of our guiding principles is strong, confident living. What if you could actually do less in more quality and more inspiration, coming from inspired action because you actually reflected on your vision board in step 1 and you were like, you know what? I know where that came from. I want to be by palm trees. Okay, I love palm trees. I'm going to work now. Now I'm going to send the 10 emails, right? Now I'm going to go into action. Because you guys even see me, flying on airplanes, going to different places. And a lot of times people are like, you're so busy, you're so busy. And I'm like, well, I'm productive, but I'm inspired. I love what I'm doing because I know what I'm working towards. I'm not just like moving away from what I don't want. I'm moving towards what I do want. And when we make that flip, it is dramatic to your energy. You feel energized doing like what you need to do every single day, and it's not coming from a neediness or a lack. So these 2 changes can literally shift everything. I've got 8 more, but these 2 will set you up for the tiers and tiers, T-I-E-R, layers and layers of success that can come your way when you do less better. more simply, and not from a place of, gosh, I mustn't be doing enough, okay? I really want you to harness that one in a really deep way, because you are enough. You're more than enough. You have all the creative power in you to create anything that you want right now when you focus your energy on actually what you want and not what all the lack of what you don't have, okay? The way you know that right now is literally like a ding, ding, ding moment. Am I waking up and going to bed completely exhausted every single day, right? Am I always in worry, fear, and anxiety and just like moving in like erratic ways? Or are you feeling inspired? When you go into action, does it feel good? Okay, those are some easy flips right there, 1 and 2, that can literally change everything when you go into action from inspiration in a clear goal of what you do want, which leads me to number 3. Most people's vision boards, what they want to manifest, are absolutely too vague. Too vague. I want more money, Laura. I want a better relationship. I want to, have a better body. All of these things are so broad. That's great. But what does it look like? What does it feel like? Like if your vision and goal and what you want to manifest is unclear, your result is going to be unclear. You're going to get a lot of different things that are sent your way, and it's not going to be very precise. So what you want to do is have a really clear vision and a really clear goal. So get it down to the specifics. The way we do that at Strong Confident Living, that's like really one of my favorite tips ever, is the flip it list. The flip it list that helps you design, this is absolutely what I do not want, and this is absolutely what I clearly then do want. Because there's 2 things here. A lot of people are unclear because they're just so unhappy in their current state. They can't see past the vision. You can't even create the lens or the attitude to shift and see beyond where you are right now. Or you're in steps 1 and 2 where you're constantly in the push and the struggle against yourself and all the things that you don't want coming from the lack. And if you're stuck in that negative energy, you're going to continue to down spiral. So this 3rd step is literally so juicy. Get so clear. Be like, okay, I want more money. Okay, well, what does that mean? Everyone wants more money. I want to live in a bigger house. Okay, which bigger house? Like, you don't have to maybe know exactly what street you want to be on, but what are the kinds of specifics? What kind of molding you want? What kind of flooring do you want? How many commas and zeros do you want in your bank account? What are those numbers? What does your life look like and feel like in those moments? You have to get really juicy to the point of like really specific detail into the life you desire. And if you can't access that right now because you're not in the happiest place, well then really start with our Flip It list at Strong Confident Living, which is writing down, like I said, just fold the piece of paper in half, and on the left side write all the things that you clearly don't want and all the things that you do want. Most importantly here, it's to access the feeling that you have when you get the things that you want. Okay, because it's the feeling that makes it come alive. It's the feeling of the things that you don't want that make them come alive. So really get very clear and specific on your Flip It list, because that's one of the number 1 things, or out of the 10 things that I realize in talking to people, and they're like, I want to travel more. I'm like, okay, where? Like, where exactly are you traveling to in the next few years if you could just travel more? Okay, now you did that. Now what? Now what are you doing with that money? So you're taking that, like all this stuff that you're dreaming about, and you're visually spending it. You're visually using it, and you're accessing those feelings. So that's number 3. Okay, number 4, this is such a juicy one, okay? And I use this all the time. I love this tip because a lot of you can relate to this. Okay, the number 1, another thing that I see, number 4, is that people only engage 1 sense, like of all of your senses, when they are trying to manifest. And it's usually just by sight. I'm going to create a vision board. On my vision board, I'm going to put the house I want, the vacations I want, the relationships I want, the business that I want, all of these things. And it's visual, which is 1 dimension. You are not a 1-dimensional creature, right? As you guys watch my broadcast, even that like the scale is a jerk. I'm like, the scale is only 1 form of measurement, right? Like there's so many great ways to measure your success. The same thing here with visualizing. You cannot just like use your eyes. Your eyes are only one sense, and you are such a multisensory person, a creature that was created to literally a vision board. Use your ears, okay? When I wanted to move to the beach years ago, I started downloading and listening a relationship, and you hear the music that you, and I listen to awesome music, and I imagine certain scenes, you know, with my family or my loved ones, my significant other, like while I'm listening to music. So involve your auditory senses. I mean, your learning senses, learning is life, right? Life experience is learning. You like learn through all of your senses. So sometimes sight, unless you're, yes, you might be visual, but the smell and taste of things could even be that much more profound. Like maybe you eat the certain food that you would have when you're at the beach, and it reminds you and can give you the feeling of living by the beach. Maybe you can smell like the suntan lotion or the coconut oil or something that immediately brings you back. And I'm sure you can all relate to me with this one, right? Like that sometimes you smell something and it brings you right back to an experience that you had. Well, you should be doing this with your vision boarding and with your tips to manifest. For me, I've made it a very multi-sensory experience from a sight perspective, a sound perspective. You know, what can you feel? And I'm just giving you some examples of what we've done, because when I look back now on my road map to Malibu, I'm like, wow, even when we lived in the mountains, my husband Scott built me a sand pit where he dumped sand and sand. We actually, instead of having a hot tub, had an entire area where I could just, bask in the sand, because I just loved sand. But you could just feel the sand. You can have the sand even if you're in the mountains. You can get a little baggie of sand. So how cool is that you can just take your vision board and you can bring it to life through multiple senses? To me, that's like a no-brainer one. When I'm sipping coffee now, like I'm already manifesting what's next for us. When I'm sipping coffee every single morning, I'm picturing it in the next place that we're already going to be creating and being in. Like I see the kitchen table and I'm sipping coffee in my current place right now. So all of these multisensory experiences are to give you the feeling that you can access right now, which is what speeds up manifestation. It brings your goal closer to you because you can feel the feeling in the present moment, which is the point of all of this in a positive way. Okay. The next thing is that where people go totally wrong is borrowing other people's visions, goals, and what they want to manifest. Okay. If you are not strong and confident in what you want to manifest and you start looking left and right to what everyone else is doing, you're probably going to start working on someone else's vision, and you're not going to be in the happiest place in your life. So the first 4 tips that I gave you are really juicy and starting to create your own, but this is like a pat on the back, or maybe a slap in the face moment, depending on which way you're going, of, is this really the life that I want to create, or the life that my parents wanted to create for me, or the life that my husband or spouse or wife thinks I should do, or something that my friends have always told me that I should do? Okay, there's a major difference in what people are telling you you should be doing to what you know in your heart that you should be doing, or towards the direction or passion that you have. Okay, now we love this because there's so much information out there. It can be good and it can be daunting at times because you can compare so easily. You can see that people are saving the homeless. They're, starting nonprofits for cats. They're, helping foster kids. They're, being amazing chefs. They're doing all these amazing things, okay? You could be doing all of these things and you could think, gosh, that's what they should be doing. I should be doing that too. Or there's enough people out there saying, this is what you should be doing. They're actually prescribing to you, hey, this is what makes me happy, like being this or doing this or following this diet plan. So here, this is what must be the prescription to happiness for you too, okay? No one is in charge of your happiness but yourself. No one is in charge of creating you and your next chapter and your destiny but yourself. No one knows in their heart of hearts what their purpose is except yourself. So it is time to really recognize whether you are on a path that someone else was trying to create for you and that's getting uncomfortable, or if it's time for you to recognize truly what makes you happy. And it's one of my favorite lessons that when we go deep with this, we really dive further into the happiness and purpose of you. Because not everyone can save cats, or who would be, the chef, or who would be the one selling cars, or who would be the one helping with fitness. You are here to have a creative expression of you in this world. And your happiest, most relaxed version of you, I will say this all the time to everyone that I coach. I mean, I coach 11 to 17-year-old kids all the way up to seniors. And it's amazing because it's just the happiest version of yourself is the one that creates in this world, is the version of you where you know what you're here to self-express and do. And it's not what anyone else is prescribing to you. And you got to own that, okay? Because if like having a fancy car or a big house makes you happy and someone's bashing you about that, well, what if that like adventure to the car dealership is something that, connects something else in this lifetime? Like everything should not have judgment. And there's way too much of that being flung around in this world. So let's remove all those barriers right now and really start to work on what makes you happy. Okay, so that's number 5. I could literally do a whole hour just on that because I want you to step into your purpose more. I want you to be the happiest version of yourself, to find that place where in this decade you are expressing exactly what you're meant to express in this world, because then it makes the world a very upspiraled place. Okay, number 6, so I don't keep going on that one, is stepping out of your vision and stopping when your path cannot be seen in front of you. This is the number one thing that stops people from manifesting and makes you block yourself and your ability and you give up, is when the path is not very clear in front of you and you can't figure out how you're going to get there. How am I ever going to get that big house? How am I ever going to get that job? How am I ever going to find that love or be in the body that I want to be in? Okay, whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. If it's not clearly in front of you right now, that you stop your commitment, okay? And this is where people start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. And every single time you start and stop, you push what you truly want and desire in this world away from yourself, okay? It's time to stop that, okay? It's time to stop being bossy and be boss, okay? Because being bossy is over controlling the pieces and the neediness to see what's the next step, okay? What's so important is that you take the first step and know where you want to be going and revisit steps 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that we just gave you, of going into it in a positive place, going into it in inspired action. Starting is important, right? Those are the important steps. What's also most important is continuing to go, and this is true commitment, continuing to run the course when you don't see the path in front of you. This is so key because this is when trust comes in. This is when faith comes in. This is when belief in yourself comes in. And this is when most people start to self-sabotage themselves and throw in the towel. Okay, I can do a whole hour, and we'll be coming out in 2020 with all of these awesome workshops where we dive deeper into all of these pieces. Okay, but today is to give you the overview of all of just these 10, because this is where you can start making pivots and quick flips right now. What do you do when things start to get uncomfortable? When that detour pops up, where you thought you needed to control the next step, but a different next step emerges? What is your thought process? It feels uncomfortable, or you can't see what's next. Do you throw in the towel? And this is the solution. You don't. Do not quit on yourself. This is where change happens. Change happens when you can't see what's next, and it does feel uncomfortable, right? When you follow our challenges in Strong Confident Living for health and fitness, that is where the transformation and breakthrough happens, when people are changing themselves physically. But towards your dreams and towards manifestation, to me, it was like when we put our house for sale and didn't know where we were going next. Like, but having total trust and faith that it will work out for me. And guess what? How you expect it will be, like if you could prescribe and write out the steps, is typically not how it happens. So stop trying to control the pieces. Stop trying to manipulate the parts. Don't be so bossy on your life. Be boss. Sit back, relax a little, okay, have the clear vision, move in that positive action, take those first steps. And here's the solution. When things also start to feel a little uncomfortable of like, didn't expect that detour to happen, or didn't really want this in my reality right now, the next sentence that follows should be, I can't wait to see how this is going to be working out for me, because I know where I'm going. And there's no question that I'm not going to get there. I am going to get there. So isn't this interesting, this curveball that's coming my way right now? Isn't this interesting? And that shifts everything. It will keep you from quitting on your dream. And it'll keep you moving towards what you truly want. All right, so I can keep going on that one, but do not fall back off. This is why, most people right now in the beginning of a year are going gung-ho in number 2 that I gave you. Like, I hate my body, I hate myself, this is what I want, so I'm gonna go into massive action and then quit because of this number 6, where it's not feeling it. I was going all gung-ho, I overdid it, and I don't see any changes, and now this just happened, I'm gonna stop. Okay, so this is huge. Okay, these tips are huge. They are life-changing, and these are proven like tips and strategies that we've personally tested and done and learned sometimes the hard way. Okay, do not quit on yourself, bottom line. Number 7, okay, this is a really big one for me, for you, because this kind of gets to the, like, don't tell me you don't have time for yourself, because if you are saying that, that is like the old me. Okay, number 7 is most people do not practice this work daily. Okay, most people are doing steps 1 and 2 and they're moving in that exhausted state and they give up, number 6. But number 7 here is when you start to know exactly what you want from tip number 3, and you make that flip it list and you start looking on the right side of all these things. I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that. And like, that's a clear vision of your goals and what you want to be working towards. This takes daily practice. But if you are a giver in life and you put yourself last because your work is coming first and your kids are coming first and your spouse or your friends or all the things that life will continue to allow to bubble up as you put all of those things first and you put yourself last, you will not practice this daily. If I could tell you with a crystal ball that if you spent about 20 minutes a day, at least 10 minutes a day, working on your positive, vision towards what you want to be doing and all of these steps we're giving you today, if I told you with 100% accuracy that you would start manifesting what you want, like that you would start to see those things on that right side of the page, like work out for you, you would do it. But because of the point that I just said, when things start to get dark and unclear, or the detour pops up and it feels uncomfortable and you're like, this is not really, it's feeling off, so let me stop. Okay, and then people move into disappointment and shame and all these other things. That's where people go wrong. Okay, so this step is so important. You need to practice this every single day. I practice this every single day, and I am a master manifester because I know how to master this, because it's just focus. You focus on this every single day. And I know what has come true for me, and it's almost like you could shake your head, and what's still coming true for me, and you could literally shake your head, like, how is that possible? Okay, and people think like, oh, you have the golden touch, oh, you do this, oh, you do that. No, like, no, you can do this too. I just work at it. My work feels inspired because I know where I want to be going, and I practice this every single day, no questions. No questions, okay? So if you're overscheduling yourself and you're putting yourself last, that was me. That was me, okay? That was me years ago when I was not getting anything that I wanted, and I was looking out into reality being like, this is not what I want. This is clearly not what I want. And I started working on all of these things, and I started recognizing when things were going off. and I would make these pivots, but I practiced it every day. So this level of commitment is no excuses. You have to put yourself first. Everyone else will absolutely love you more when you're showing your world your best energy, when you're putting your happiness as your number one priority. When you, like I said earlier, if you're in your happiest, most relaxed version of you, you are going to be blossoming. Okay? You're going to plant yourself right here and you will blossom because you're going to be a changed person. You are moving towards the light of everything that you want, not to the dark of all the depths and down spirals and the negativity. So this is a major shift in your life, just potentially from a few of these tips or all of these tips, and you'll be on total cruise control. Okay, so promise me that if you want to make a change in your life, that it will take a daily commitment of practice, and it should feel inspirational. When I work on this stuff every single day, and I can spend a whole other workshop with you guys on what I do every single day, okay, to spend time on this, but it at least, minimum, spend your time working on the vision and all the feelings and the multiple senses and all of these things that I just said. So I'm not going to repeat them all, but you just need to say, do the work, do it. Just do it. Okay. Number 8. Ooh, this is a big one. Okay. People feel insecure about their goal. So you're overcritical of yourself in the process. Okay. So this pushes back the manifestation. When you start hating on yourself or become overcritical of yourself and the process, it's going to look, it often sounds two ways. The sounding of it might just be like constant banter in your head of you know, just a lot of criticism, a lot of self-hate, a lot of self-talk that's not positive. That's one thing that you might recognize. Another thing that you might recognize is you might feel the need to tell every single person about your vision and goal and what you want to manifest. That if you're feeling the need to tell everyone because you want their feedback, that's coming from an insecure place. Okay, you should, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't tell people, but if you feel the need to tell every single person and like exactly what, then it could be coming from a lot of insecurity around it. And you're waiting for them to justify, oh yeah, that sounds good. Or no, you're wrong. Okay. So you have to recognize the feeling you're in when you're starting to feel the criticism, or when you start receiving the criticism, you're putting out an energy that's not 100% in line. Like you're starting to self-judge yourself. This can stop the manifestation from occurring. So what I want you guys to do also is not throw it in the closet and not tell anybody, because then you're like, I'm so fearful that people are going to think I'm nuts that I'm just going to like hide what I actually want to manifest. If you're hiding it, it's just like the same insecurity, but it's coming from fear in telling everyone or hiding it. Okay, just own it. Okay, recognize that what, again, makes you happy and what makes you feel inspired can be totally different than the next person, and that is okay. You need to start owning yourself, owning what you want, and when that critical, judgy voice comes in, just recognize it and say, go sit in the corner. Okay, that was the old me. I'm turning into the new me. Like that, that's awesome. Okay, and it's the recognition sometimes that maybe you needed that voice to prompt you and nudge you. Like even all the negative stuff that we talked about in steps 1 and 2. You might have needed all that negative stuff to happen to initially like prompt you to change. But now you're like, thanks, old me. You had the courage to get me where I am today. Now I'm standing in all this clarity. I don't need all the judgment. I don't need the inside judgment, and I don't need the outside judgment. Okay, because outside judgment is just a reflection of inside judgment. So you really need to work on yourself. And if you're practicing it every day, like the step before this, you're gonna own it more and more. And maybe in the beginning, it is something like you wanna hide. Like it seems so out of touch, out of reach. But then you put it, you know, a picture of it in your bathroom or in your car or other things, and you start seeing it more, and you start reading it more, and you start looking at your flip it list more until you're like, yeah, like I'm owning what I want. Like, yeah, this stuff makes me happy. And you're going to lose the judgment. Okay, so this will just start to dissolve because you deserve it. You deserve anything that makes you feel good. and makes you feel happy. And that version of you, again, is the best version of you on planet Earth, okay? For your family, for all the reasons you think you shouldn't do it, like because I don't have time, or I don't have this or that, which I'll get to in a minute, is actually why you should be doing it. So just keep doing the work, and like let that self-critic kind of go sit in the corner, but don't like throw it away. So you're always going to be there. I'm just going to quiet that voice and make my new voice louder, because I know where I'm going. Okay, number 9. Okay, this is huge. So many people do not like accelerate manifestation. They push it away, actually, because they do not allow happiness to seep in until they think they are at their final goal. Okay, if you do this, like when I have love, I'll like feel happy. When I live in that house, like not this house, then I'll be happy. When I'm in the body that I want, then I'll allow myself to feel that happiness. And what happens when you believe that, and so many people do, is twofold. One, you're not celebrating. Like if you were able to run a mile, but you really want to run 13 miles, when you run 1 mile, you're like, did it, but not enough. It's not 13, not enough, not enough, not enough. It's gonna trigger number 2, which is moving from lack energy. Okay, where this one is really huge. It's never gonna feel like enough. Okay, it's like lost 5 pounds, but still got 40 to go. Okay, in this house, but still not like the kitchen I wanted, right? Or, yeah, oh, this old clothes, yeah, no, it's definitely not what I love to wear. If you're constantly putting all of the steps that you are taking right now down, and you're not living in happiness right now, and you're going to keep pushing happiness to that external goal. And not only that, if you're not letting happiness in right now, when you get there, this is the second part of the twofold, you're not going to feel happiness because you never flexed happiness. You never flexed what it, or allowed in what it actually feels like to receive that joy from the steps, from the juicy everyday moments of where true genius actually lives. And if you don't allow that in, you will never feel happy and fulfilled. So many people do this, and that is why you see skinny, rich, very unhappy people, just living like not living the life that you think they might be living. Okay, and you see people that are, maybe not at like where you think your big dream and goal would be, but they're perfectly content and happy. It is the major difference between the people who are able to celebrate the smallest of milestones and pat themselves on the back along the way. It's a big piece of what we are part of at Strong Confident Living, because we know you're allowing yourself to access joy and happiness in the present moment, to access the feeling, like through the multisensory approach that I gave you. All of these things, if you can access the feeling right now, you accelerate yourself and bring what you want to, manifest to you way more like a magnet. Okay, the path will become clearer when it's unclear. The right people and circumstances and tools and stuff will, be there when you're taking these steps in faith and allowing yourself to feel the joy along the way. So this is a huge one for me, because I see way too many people telling me why they shouldn't be happy yet until they're at X, Y, or Z goal. And I'm like, no, you have to start learning how to really celebrate yourself and the smaller stuff right now. Okay. Number 10. And guys, I am so excited to read the comments next. I see people are writing like, I am in tears right now, or this is amazing. And I can't even tell you like how excited I am to help you. Okay. I know this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And this last one is a big one. Stop the excuses. If you are preparing an excuse list of why you think you can't have anything that you absolutely dream and want to create in your life next, in this next chapter, in this next year, in this next decade, starting exactly right now, then it is time to drop the big but in your life, which is, I would love to do that, Laura, but I don't think I'm going to be able to carve out the time. you know, I would love to have this house, but like no one in my family has ever been rich. I would love to have that body, but you know what? Like I've got all these genes in my family that like everyone's got these big, you know, bones or hips or whatever your excuses are. And I just want to shake you, okay? Because you create yourself, you create your life. And if you are starting to think about all the excuses of why you can't have what you don't think you can do or have, you are truly blocking your own self. Okay, and if it's you that is like I don't have enough time, and or you're blaming all the circumstances in life, like I wish I could do it, but you know, my husband doesn't like participate, or my kids are driving me nuts, or the weather is raining. And that's why if you're either placing the blames and the buts on all these external things, you are handing over the keys to your life. You are not driving, okay? You are not driving. And it is time right now for 2020 and in this next chapter to take the keys, okay? You drive the car of you. You write the next chapter. You paint the story. You use your senses. You decide what makes you happy. There's nobody else but you that creates your life, your perspective, and everybody else in your life is going to play the parts that you expect them to. So it is time for you to literally in this step 10 to not start giving me the excuses of why you can't have anything that you want, because you can, okay? I am an example of that. Like people are an example of that, and it is nothing that you don't have inside you right now, okay? It is all amazing internal work of imagination and happiness and willpower and insight and intuition and knowing what feels good to you and nobody else but you. Okay, you were literally put here on earth for a reason. You are literally meant to step into your purpose. You are meant to creatively express yourself, just like I am here in this broadcast, okay? This is my purpose, to help you recognize those things, to put you on that path towards where you want to be going. Not mine or his or hers, but yours. So guys, this is the next version of Strong Confident Living. Okay, I create myself, I create my life. It's a whole series that we are launching in 2020. It is workshops, it is more courses, it is everything for you to dive deep into these pieces with us to truly create the life of your dreams. Okay, you deserve it, your family deserves it, everyone on this planet deserves to be happy and living in the best life. So like one of my teachers taught me, he was like, you know, this is perfect for ending for my birthday today. He's like, you did not come here on a one-way ticket to planet Earth. You came here for a round trip, okay? You came here, you were born for a reason, and you will leave here one day. Okay, at the end of the day, I want you to look back on your life and say, I did that. I was happy. I was there with my family. I was there for life's precious moments. I made that whatever impact that I wanted to make, okay? I lived in my purpose. I loved on people. I opened people's hearts. I made a difference. Whatever it is, again, that you want, I'm not gonna prescribe it to you because again, you know in your heart of hearts the direction that you wanna be going. So thank you guys for tuning into this broadcast. So much more juicy stuff to come. I have been so excited about turning 44, so excited about what this decade is going to bring. We are going to shift a lot of people's lives together. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys are on Facebook Live right now and watching this broadcast, do me a favor, share, 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 and share. I love you all so much. Have an amazing day, and thank you for spending my birthday with me.